Great day, everyone. This is Jason Santos, and again, we are going to continue the discussion of international business and trade. We are already on Unit 5, so let's start. In this discussion, we are going to cover the different ways on how you would enter an international business. Okay, so there are a lot of ways, and we've been talking about this for quite some time now. So now, isa-isahin natin, and we will detail what are the ways on how you can enter a foreign market. No? You can actually do mergers and acquisitions. You can do licensing, joint ventures, and franchising. So these are the modes of entering an international business. So mergers and acquisitions, or M&A, or corporate restructuring are a big part of the corporate finance world. So this is very common, and every day in Wall Street, the bankers or investors arrange their M&A transactions. So this is a very common na siya na happening, right? They they bring separate companies together for larger ones. And then when they're not creating big companies from smaller ones, corporate finance deals do the reverse and break up companies through spin-offs, carve-outs, or tracking and stocks. So again, this is a very common, no? Hindi naman negative. Sometimes it gets a bad connotation, no? That when a business gets acquired or there's a merger happening, is that hindi kaya ng business or nalugi na yung business kaya siya in-acquire. Sometimes it could be a positive approach or a strategy, okay, to expand the business. Now, when you talk of mergers, okay, there are a lot of ways or types of merging. So pag sinabi mong merger, by the term itself, two companies coming together, they're forming a relationship. And maraming examples yan. It can be a horizontal merger wherein two companies are in direct competition and share the same product lines and markets. Pwede ring vertical merger, customers and company or supplier and company. Think of a cone supplier merging with an ice cream maker. So yan, magkaibang produkto but they are merging, right, to provide one offering. Market extension merger. Two companies sell the same products in different markets. So they're merging, but they're doing it strategically. They will be selling the same products pero magkaiba lang sila ng lugar. No? Parang divide and conquer strategy yung ginagawa nila. Yung product extension merger, two companies selling different but related products in the same market. Yan. An extension of a product. Like for example, you have a cell phone and then you have another company that can offer, let's say, yung mga peripherals of a cell phone, yung case, yung what do you call this, yung cover niya, no? Yung screen cover, okay? The chargers, headsets, so on and so forth, no? Conglomeration, and two companies that have no common business areas. These are two different totally different companies, but they want to join together. You can also do purchase mergers. Kind of merger occurs when one company purchases the other, so bibilihin na siya. The purchase is made with cash or through the issue of some kind of debt instrument. And then consolidation merger. With this merger, a brand new company is formed, so mawawala na yung previous brand names. They would be together as one, So those are the types of mergers, okay? To give an example of a horizontal merger, kasi we have a lot, no? And I'm just going to take a few examples here. We have the merger between Exxon and Mobil, no? So these are two of the biggest US oil producers, and in 1998 they decided to merge, and then together, mas lumaki pa sila, no? They closed the deal to a whopping $80 billion and have quadrupled their shares to 293%. So what this means is that sometimes when businesses are separated or separate, mas konti lang yung nagagawa nila eh. But with a bigger capital, mas malaki yung pwede pa pala nilang i-achieve, right? So that's one example of a very successful merger in the United States. Another example of a horizontal merger, a successful one, would be the one between Facebook and Instagram. Facebook bought Instagram for 1 billion or 760 million pounds, and WhatsApp in 2014 for 19 billion. So as you can see, all of those applications, they are very successful, and they have already dominated the social media market, right? Next, we go to acquisitions, and an acquisition may be the only may have a slight difference, right, with a merger. In fact, it may be different in the name only. So sometimes parang mapagkakamala na magkapareho yung merger and an acquisition. Companies seek economies of scale. Again, kapag economies of scale, when they are together, mas malaki sila, mas magmumura kasi yung produkto kapag mas malaki yung kumpanya, no? Because the cost of producing the product is far more cheaper as compared if they are away, or they are divided, right? So unlike mergers, all acquisitions involve one firm purchasing another. So merong isang company that would purchase the other, and there is no exchange of stock or consolidation as a new company. The acquisitions are often congenial, and all parties feel satisfied with the deal. Other times, acquisitions are more hostile. So yeah. One very good example of a company that frequently acquires other businesses or binabuy out niya yung competition niya would be Coca-Cola, no? And it has been proven historically. Matagal na, no? Ganyan ang ginagawa ng Coca-Cola. They buy their competition. Especially when they want to enter a foreign market, kasi there are certain countries that do not drink soft drinks. No? Like for example, China, traditionally, Japan, they are more of tea products. No? But when Coca-Cola entered the market, no, what they did was they first acquired beverage companies in the country, and then slowly introduce their products. So yeah, no. In one recent example of their frequent acquisitions would be in 2018, where they acquired a minority stake in Body Armor. So Body Armor, it's an example of a drink, It's a performance energy hydration drink. No? So nakipag-partner si Coca-Cola with Body Armor through acquiring a minor stake, no? In Australia, the company purchased Organic and Raw Trading Company. So yan, kasi Australia, talagang yung mga Australians mahilig sila sa natural, They love nature, they love natural products. So ganun din ang ginawa ng Coca-Cola. They acquired a product, a certain brand, no? And that was yung kombucha. Okay? Mojo Kombucha brand. So ito yung mga flavors niya, passion fruit and others. And then in Europe, Coca-Cola plans to acquire London-based Costa, yung Costa Coffee. So ayan, hindi siya soft drinks, pero in-acquire siya ng Coca-Cola. But again, makikita mo yung portfolio ng Coca-Cola, talagang beverage. They are in the beverage industry. And along their acquisition, nakuha nila yung 4,000 retail outlets, including vending businesses and coffee roastery. So yeah, to point out the advantages, disadvantages, and the difference between mergers and acquisitions. No? So yan, merging of two organizations into one. Acquisition, there's a buying and a partner that's being acquired. When you talk of mergers, it's a mutual decision. Acquisitions can be friendly turnover or a hostile turnover. They are, when you talk of mergers, they are more expensive as the legal cost involved is high. Um, when you talk of acquisitions, they are relatively cheaper. So yan, mas mura-mura yung acquisitions as compared to mergers. And when you talk of mergers, time consuming because there are legal issues that needs to be settled and handled first. But with acquisition, it's easier, it's faster because again, the buying partner na yung mag-worry about it eh. Whereas for mergers, kailangan mag-agree muna both sides, right? So when you talk of mergers, dilution of ownership occurs in merger. So nangyayari talaga yan, ano? The relationships can be diluted sooner or later. And for acquisitions, the acquirer does not experience the dilution of ownership. So hindi mangyayari yun with the acquirer because again, siya yung kumuha eh, no? Nung isang business or nung partner niya, in-acquire niya yun. Now let's go to licensing. So when you talk of licensing, it's a market entry strategy used by most companies, no? For practicality purposes as well. Licensing is a transfer-related market entry strategy. Involves a company known as the licensor granting permission to a company in another country to use its intellectual property for a defined time. Some forms of licenses would be yan, patents, trademarks, copyrights, technical know-how, specific business skills. And then for its example, like this, ano yung Calvin Klein, DKNY, no? It does not mean that they have manufacturing operations global, but you can see their products globally. And the reason for that is that if there are companies na gustong magbenta ng Calvin Klein or CK, DKNY, all they would have to do is just acquire the license for it or pay for its license. Clothing brands use licensing to expand globally, so retailers from other countries can produce the products and bearing the brand name and in return charge for licensing. So, papayagan sila ng CK na sige gumawa kayo ng damit with the CK brand. And then in return, you just need to pay for the licensing fees and of course, meet the quality standards set by the licensor. Okay? Kasi may quality na mini-maintain din dyan. One example of a very successful licensor, no, or talagang licensing giant would be Disney. So yan, no? As of 2016 pa tong data na to, they have $272 billion in global sales of retail merchandise. Kasi napakadami din nilang characters eh. And it's continuously expanding. Mickey Mouse, yung mga Disney princesses, they have Star Wars, they have Marvel, yan, ABC, ESPN, Disney Pixar, and a total of 56.6 billion in licensed merchandise as of 2016. So, kung merong gustong, let's say, t-shirt company na gustong gumawa ng Disney products, lagyan ng logo ni Mickey or logo ni Iron Man or logo ng Star Wars, they would need to secure licensing permit from Disney, no, to do that. So, hindi siya ganun kadali. But, it would assure na bibili yung produkto mo kasi again, nandun yung character na hinahanap eh. Right? And it's a great business entry strategy for Disney to do that, right? Kahit wala silang clothing company, no? Ipapahiram lang nila yung license doon sa mga companies or industries na gustong magbenta ng produkto nila. They would get a cut from it. So ganun kagaling ang Disney, and they have mastered the art of licensing. Next would be joint venture. It's another form of entry in international markets. Joint venture or JV is a business arrangement in which two or more parties agree to pool their resources for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. So yan, advantage na kagad yan from the term itself. They are agreeing to pool their resources. Two are better than one, common phrase yan. So pag pinagsama mo yung kanilang resources, mas malaki. Mas malaki yung ating resource pool. Okay? Mas marami tayong mapaghuhugutan dahil malawak yung ating resources. Now, in joint venture, each of the participants is responsible for profits, losses, and costs associated with it. So, shared yung responsibility. Okay? However, the venture is its own entity, separate from the participants' other business interests. So let's say there are two companies, company A and B, nagsama sila into a joint venture. And then nabuo yung company C. Kapag may nangyari dun sa company C, hindi sagutin yun ng company A at ng company B kasi company C in itself is a separate entity. Okay? Kung may mangyari sa kanya at later on ma-dissolve siya, hindi maapektuhan yung company A and company B per se. Okay? Example of this would be BMW and Toyota doing a joint venture to research into hydrogen fuel cells. Vehicle electrification. Kasi again, Tesla is leading the electric vehicles industry. And then ultra lightweight materials para hindi masyadong mabigat yung sasakyan. So, bakit nila gagawin yan? They're supposed to be competitors, BMW and Toyota. Kasi they would both benefit if they would be able to discover this technology. Pagka na-discover nila yung technology na yan, pareho silang mag-benefit. Okay? Another example would be in 2005, this is a joint venture. Google and NASA conducted a joint venture to do Google Earth. So, nagsama sila. So, Google would provide yung grounded technology like yung computers, the internet, yung ability to access World Wide Web. Whereas yung NASA naman would provide for the telescopes, yung mga kanilang, what should I call this? Satellites, to capture the images. So, anong benefit nun for NASA? Of course, very beneficial yan for NASA kasi they would have worldwide access. Hindi sila limited into one geography. Tapos, kumbaga, ang kanilang internet arm ay ang Google. Ang Google naman, anong magiging benefit nun sa kanya? Napakadami. Tayo na nga lang when we are using GPS. Pwede mong gamitin yung Google Maps aside from Waze. So, isa yun sa mga benefits na nai-enjoy ng Google, right? The ability to see the entire Earth's landscape, okay? Because of NASA. So, what is a joint venture? Ito yung, in a bird's eye view, ito yung mga pwede nating masabi about joint venture. Could be short-term or long-term. The resources are combined as well as the expertise. It can be informal, pwede magsimula ka agad without the proper documents, okay? Saves money on advertising, of course. And either creates a separate entity, corporation, LLC, a partnership, or operates jointly as separate entities. So, lastly, let's talk of franchising. It is a system in which semi-independent business owners or franchisees pay fees and royalties to a parent company. And in return for the right to become identified with its trademark, to sell its products or services, and often to use its business format and system. So I'm sure lahat kayo or anybody who's listening to this are familiar with franchising. Kasi in the Philippines, maraming mga offers for franchising. Like, kunwari, gusto mo ng siomai stand, or you want to franchise shawarma house, or kung may malaki-laki kang budget, you can probably franchise a 7-Eleven store, or McDonald's, or Jollibee. Now, that is a way to enter international markets, ano? Entry mode siya. Isa siya sa mga paraan para makapasok ka internationally. Essentially, franchising as a contractual entry mode can be described as a type of license agreement, which means that an organization wants to enter a foreign market quickly, mas mabilis. Ano? If you are franchising, mas mabilis, with a lower degree of risk and resource commitment. So, wala ka masyadong problema with risk. Bakit? Kasi, kunwari, nag-franchise ka ng McDonald's, you're bearing the brand of McDonald's. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-worry about marketing, about advertising. Sila na bahala doon, right? And McDonald's is a known brand already. Wala ka nang gagastusin dun sa portion na yun, ano? As for the resources, of course, centralized yung resources niyan eh. Hindi pwedeng ikaw yung gagawa ng sarili mong burger buns or burger patties. Magde-deviate ka dun sa kanilang secret formula, sa kanilang recipe, sa kanilang style of preparation. So, manggagaling lahat yan from the franchisor, no? So, all of those things are some of the advantages of franchising. And here are some of the well-known franchising brands. So, yan. Subway, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, ito mga international brands yan, but you can see it locally. No? Now, mind you, when we are franchising, hindi ibig sabihin na kailangan retained yung style. Sometimes, you as the business who wants to enter foreign markets, kailangan mo rin mag-adjust dun sa needs and preferences of a specific country. And here are some examples, like for example, Burger King. Meron siya sa Canada, meron siya sa New Zealand, meron din siya sa Philippines. Sa Canada, mas preferred nila yung 2.85 grams of salt per burger. Whereas sa New Zealand, mas gusto nila yung lesser salt, 1.92 grams of salt per burger. So these are cultural differences between the said countries, right? Also with KFC, ganun din. Iba yung preference sa Middle East as compared to Malaysia. Sa McDonald's, ganun din. Iba rin yung component ng burgers nila kasi for what we know is iba yung meat preferences ng mga Indians as compared to other nationalities, right? Meron din silang taste na hinahanap. Ang India kasi, they prefer spices talaga, no? Talagang kailangan malasang-malasa yung pagkain. So, those are some of examples no sa burgers. And then ayan, Kellogg's Corn Flakes. So again, differences in salt ano. So this is just parang hindi mo siya mapapansin ano, pero as an international business trying to expand, you would have to worry about these things. Kailangan mo siyang isipin. Okay? Because these are subtle differences between nations. And if you wanted to grow your business internationally, pagka nag-franchise ka, kailangan mo rin mag-adapt dun sa preferences again of that country. So, as your assignment, please answer this. Research and give an example of the following international entry strategies, yung nabanggit natin, merger, acquisition, licensing, joint venture, and franchising. And the example must contain details such as how long was the merger or the acquisition, the duration, what strategies and techniques were used, and whether the attempt was success or failure. Yeah, so that wraps up our discussion for today. I hope you have learned something. And as always, thank you so much for watching my video. Please support the channel. And I'll see you on the next discussion. To God be all the glory.